What if I said you can have a cheat day, I know, for every day, and still lose weight, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I don't care how much body fat you need to lose around there. I don't care. Stay here. I'm telling you, save this video, forward this to somebody you love and care about, because this is going to be one of those eye openers that this is real life. Okay. I've been on every diet. I have clients, men and women, that have been on every diet. I have every diet out there functioning right now in a way that is functional, not dysfunctional. We as coaches and everybody I talk to every day that I run into, constantly having these talks about food. Food is a humongous part of our lives. It takes up a lot of our lives. If you have a family, kids at home and everything, planning meals is almost like, right? There's so much convenience out there. Pizza is at an all-time high. Prepped meals are at an all-time high. You go down any aisle at any, I don't care if it's a health food store, it doesn't matter what store it is. You go down any aisle from Monday to Friday. By the time Friday comes, or on the weekends, it is drained, the snack aisle, right? It's gone. The ice cream aisle is decimated. The frozen pizza aisle, destroyed. I'm using these as one of those examples that's part of lifestyle. That's part of a dysfunctional eating pattern consistently, whether it's, I'm talking about ourselves, right? Us that have to lose, that know we need to lose 10 pounds of body fat. 10 pounds of body fat is a lot. 50 or 20, 30, 40 pounds, 20 pounds of body fat is a lot to lose. You're talking about having to burn an extra 3,500 calories a week, in order to lose 1 pound of body fat. Excuse me, that was my phone ringing. But seriously, getting yourself to the point where everybody has dysfunctional eating patterns that needs to lose weight. We all do. I have them. I've been through them, and I utilize diets to break the dysfunction, to bring me back to functional. There's still some dysfunction here, but more functional. And we're going to go over this functional part. It's important. That's protein first, fat second, carbohydrates third. And the problem for most of us on any diet or any type of change that we need to make, we are not willing to go out of a comfort zone. We all want to be in constant comfort zones. There's no discomfort. But taking small approaches, and this is the thing when I said in the beginning of this video of have a cheat day every day. This is exactly what I would do today with you if I were to say, look, let's start something that is non-dysfunctional when it comes to eating. I would have you starting today, write down everything you eat for the next 5 days. Just write down. If not 7, but 5 is ideal. Write it down. Gum, I don't care what it is. Write everything. Drink water, 16 ounce, whatever. Write that down. I've done that so many times, and it works every single time. The dysfunction that can be there, and taking and making it functional with the same types of foods, because most of the food that you're going to be eating, it's not food you hate. You're not sitting there eating chicken and broccoli. Most people are not sitting eating chicken, broccoli, and rice all day. That's a dysfunction. It can be. That can be functional for a moment. But it's what I mean by this dysfunction is it's not sustainable. The keto diet, any diet, is not sustainable long term. Lifestyle, functional eating is where you are eating. I don't care. There's a study out there, and I hate using studies because all kinds of videos pop them up. I'm all about the real life. What is on the ground? What is working? What has worked yesterday that's going to work today, that's going to work tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 10 years from now? I have seen it. I have seen drastic, rapid changes that are in good hands, that are in a good place. Where why change that? What changed there other than science? It's science, timing, and functional eating. That is it. Workouts come and go. There's tons of gyms, right? We can walk into a gym today and start and look doe-eyed or know what we're doing, right? I can give you workout plans every single day for a month. It's, hey, I need to change it up. Well, there you go. Here's another one. Do that. Do this based on what you're doing, what you want to do, what you want your outcome to be. My point here, there's a lot of them, but taking and making functional eating out of dysfunctional patterns, out of the dysfunctional meals you're eating, okay? Protein first. That's what we would focus on. We would break protein down for a week on a scale if we had to. Maybe 3 days. But doing this and like okay, well, let's weigh out. You need 150 grams of protein for the week, every day. Forget everything else. Just keep everything included. We're going to make sure that you are in a caloric deficit, building around the dysfunctional foods, because those foods are what you typically love. And if you stay, I've never heard someone say, man, I'm going to be on a diet I love. There are diets I love. I love the keto diet. I absolutely love it. It's a tool though. I don't utilize it I go on a keto reset for 7 to 10 days. And I'm not going to get into me, but I have clients that do that and lose an enormous amount of body fat in a good way, and eating foods that are very rich, because keto is very high in fat and protein. And most foods that are high in fat and protein are typically pretty good, right? We can probably all agree on that, right? So that being said, is taking those and making sure protein's first and planning protein out. Again, not something that we want to do, right? It's difficult. It can be. But it's, I've done this for 20 clients at a time, where I see the number one dysfunction is the amount of protein. 95% of the time, no one is meeting even half of what their protein requirement should be. And the first thing that you have to figure out is that, because when you're losing weight, when you're losing body fat, you don't want to lose muscle. I've never heard anybody say, man, I can't wait to lose 10 pounds of muscle. Muscle is what makes us function. Muscle is our heart, right? Muscle lets us do the activities that we want to do, from the smallest ones to the most high impact ones, whether it's with our children or friends or whatever. Quality of life is muscle. Quality of life is muscle. In your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, you will want that muscle. Okay? Muscle helps retain strong bones. All right? Men or women. It's a given. All right? So we don't want to break muscle down and lose muscle. We want to keep it. Protein is number one on that list when we're trying to lose. That's why you hear so many trainers or coaches on here saying, build your metabolism with protein. No, it's about keeping the muscle you have and repairing when you go into start lifting, doing resistance training to repair those muscles, because your body, as you get older, will utilize a very high percentage of protein for just your immune system. It's constantly repairing itself. It needs to repair itself. Every time you go to sleep, your body's repairing itself in some way. It takes amino acids to do that. It takes fat, essential fat. There's essential protein, amino acids, there's essential fats. There are no essential carbohydrates. There are none. Carbohydrates come along from micronutrients that are in them for the ride. Okay, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, things that are fiber, things we need there, which is great. We need those things, but a high amount of carbohydrates never has done anybody any good unless you are a full-time or want to be a bodybuilder or gain a significant amount of muscle or gain some muscle, because I utilize carbohydrates in that way. But moving forward here, making sure that your functional eating is part of your dysfunctional eating pattern is the way to go, and combining those, because some days dysfunctional, but you are constantly meeting or exceeding your protein intake by a higher amount. Be higher on protein than carbs in most cases, not all cases. Be higher, not higher on fat, but essential fats are needed. But building that and putting yourself in a caloric deficit is another part of it's just hard to comprehend. But if you looked at a high amount of protein of food, your right amount of protein, your right amount of fat, your right amount of carbs, it's a lot of food. 2,000 calories of food in that functional eating part, and incorporating the foods. I don't care if it's bread, pasta, rice, you got it all incorporated in here in the functional part because it's what you enjoy to eat. There are some sauces in there, and it's about that pyramid. And I have the pyramid linked here. Look at that pyramid. It's not the food pyramid. It's about the functional eating patterns of life. And it all starts with, it typically starts with calories in, calories out, the bottom, and then moves up. Timing is in there. Lastly, timing. Everybody that is written down that I've ever had do a plan for 5 days, timing has been the number one issue, along with protein. Timing. Eating the foods at the wrong times. If you got to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, I don't care if it's 5 pounds of body fat. It's a lot. It is a lot to lose, try to lose. And being in a calorie surplus, right, and eating at the wrong time, what I mean by the wrong time, 30 minutes before you go to sleep. Or the moment you wake up. The exact moment you wake up, most people are eating something on the go. And some of these things can change. Some of them don't have to, because you can still do that. But being in a caloric deficit for extended periods of time while having the right macronutrients incorporated into your life as part of the functional eating pattern instead of being dysfunctional, that's all you got to fix. The workouts will fix itself. You can sit here and do crunches all day long. You will never outrun a bad diet. You will never outcrunch a bad diet. You just won't. You won't outcrunch the excessive amount of calories. If you are eating 3,000 or 4,000 excessive amount of calories per week, you're feeding your body in excess, that's 1 pound of body fat, approximate, that you are adding on every week, potential. There might be some days you're not. There might be some days you just blew it out. I got clients that blow out days, 6,000, 7,000 calories. And I'm like, whoa, how did that happen? You break it down, a lot of dysfunction. We got to get back to the functional eating, not eliminating foods, types, but incorporating it for function and putting you on the right path with that foundation. So, if you want to know more about working with me, seriously, guys, I take a limited amount of clients at a time. I have a group, and then I have one-on-one. The one-on-one is great. It's very cost effective. It's less than what you would pay a trainer or coach in the gym, and you don't even get the nutritional part, the dysfunction breakdown part. So hit me up with the word, let's say prime, Prime. Hit the word prime, and I will reach out to you one-on-one, and we'll talk about it and see if we are a fit. And then most of the time, you will be. I'll talk to you soon. Later.